Normie, do you
This
know
police
who
car's
is
outside.
Andrew H. Ben's
Hi.
here, Delon Det Ordnance, Sun Odor, so can you make the
Hey.
was legit He's acting crazy for
What is
some
this?
stimulation out of boredom, not
There's a YouTuber right now who's really putting his old meat temple and bucket of worms through a grind session, and he's doing it all for a little bit of internet fame. And I've personally never seen somebody go this far for clout, and I don't think his fans have either, because to say they're concerned is an understatement. His name is Normie, and he is absolutely going to get banned at some point, but before he does, let's take a look at some of his content, because he's making Nikocado Avocado look like a health guru channel in comparison to some of the deranged challenges that he's putting his body through. For those of you who don't know, Normie is an Australian YouTuber who started off making memes. He got pretty big. He pivoted into Roblox content, pivoted into wholesome content with his mother, who, by the way, she's pretty hot. But his most recent escapades have been somewhat like that early Mr. Beast style. Like, remember when Mr. Beast used to challenge himself to count to 100,000, or he would watch It's Every Day, Bro, for 10 hours straight? He's posting videos kind of like that now, but the world is not ready for an Australian Mr. Beast, because Australians they're just too insane to be playing with the Mr. Beast formula. For example, you give 99% of the world a pair of shoes and a Miller Lite, and what do? They probably put the shoes on, they walk around, and they drink the Miller Lite. But Australians, they invent the shoey. They're just a different breed. Okay, and if you give Australians the early days Mr. Beast formula, they find creative ways to get carried away with this as well. For example, attempting to stay awake for 12 days straight, which was Normie's first huge stunt. And this is how I found out about him, because it was all over Twitter. It's one of those things you can't look away. The morbid curiosity kicks in as a viewer, because we've never seen anybody stay awake this long. The reason why? Because it's terrible for you. It's very bad for your health, and I can't stress how insane this stunt is. It's so insane they've made creepypastas about this very subject because of how inhumane of a concept it is. Now, Normie's goal was to try and beat the world record, which the record itself is up in the air a bit due to certain things like some attempts not being closely monitored, some people used a ton of stimulants during their attempts, and heck, there's even people with fatal insomnia who can't sleep at all. But the widely agreed upon record that Normie's eyes were set on was about 11 days and 25 minutes, depending on who you ask. And the stunt was an absolute spectacle. The sleep deprivation continually made his mental state worse. It made his speech incoherent. Each day that passed, people urged him to stop because he was losing it, and watching him made his fans genuinely wonder, is he going to be okay? Will he recover from this? Normie is so far gone towards the end of this that his brother starts playing a critical role, which is waking Normie up every time he dozes off and helping him stand, because he's falling asleep as he's standing, and if his brother wasn't there, he'd probably fall on the ground, crack his head open. And to top it all off, at the 250-hour mark, people started catching wind of this, and YouTube banned him. But at that point, the damage is already done. The damage to his little noodle, it's already done. So YouTube's too late to the ban, if their goal was safety here, and he switches over to alternative platforms like Rumble and Kick. But eventually, after grinding for 11 days and change, he breaks the record. And the interesting thing about Normie is when he fails a record, he doesn't take a month off to recover. He just tries again. So he did 3 attempts of this. So it's not just like he stayed awake for 11 days, which is bad for you alone. He tried, failed, slept for a few days, took a few days off, tried again, failed, slept for a little bit more, and then eventually broke the record. So I'd say about half of this month, he was awake. It wasn't just this 11 days. And that's the scary part about this, because, for example, in the UFC or boxing or something like that, if somebody gets knocked out, they have to take a certain amount of days off after that concussion. It's not safe to just jump back in and then risk that floppy chicken nugget in your head getting any more messed up. But Normie just does these experiments back to back to back which I'm not a doctor, but I'm a little nervous for the guy. Immediately after breaking the record, he does a 38-hour sleep stream. One of the sad things that I think about when it comes to this story is that Normie was very creative, and he is creative still. But creativity comes from the brain, and he's destroying his greatest asset for some quick views. When his brain is essentially achieving cell death, seems a little bit counterintuitive to his creative goals. If you look at some of his older videos, he made hundreds of memes, okay? And it sounds dumb to say this, but memes take extreme levels of creativity. You got to dig deep to make good memes, right? You got to be creative, you got to have a sense of humor, you got to be up to date on modern culture, and he was all of these things. And you start to lose those qualities when you give yourself brain damage because of some of these stunts that he's doing. But overall, if the goal was to break that record of 11 hours, 24 minutes, it was a success, and this experiment led Normie to try yet another record. And on the surface, this other record seems a little bit less intense, but in reality, it's just intense in different ways. And that record is the no blink world record. So Normie's new goal, keep in mind this is only a month after that sleep stream, is to beat the world record of 1 hour and 31 minutes without blinking once. And that record is held by somebody named Anand Haridas, who almost lost his sight to get this world record. And after the sleep experiment, Normie thought this would probably be easy in comparison, but it was not. Things got pretty rough. Normie failed multiple times near or even past the 1 hour mark, barely taking a break at all before trying again, and even at one point failing at the 1 hour and 27 minute mark, just 4 minutes before breaking the world record. His eyes this whole time remind me of this guy. They're practically chafing due to the dryness, but after many attempts, he gets to the 1 hour 29 mark, which is pretty close, just 2 minutes away from the world record, but he gets something in his eye.
His eyes.
Something
and
in my
a sharp,
eye.
hot pain shot across the scar
I'm
on Harry's
cooked.
forehead. Ouch! Harry clapped a hand to his head. What is it? Asked Percy. Oh, nothing. The
I'm
pain had
cooked.
gone as quickly as it had come.
But at this point, he just refuses to quit. I don't know how he does it. And he has one last trick. He does this thing where he focuses on his eyebrows to push past any type of agony he's going through. And against all odds, he beats the record, okay? And he doesn't stop there. He keeps on going to over 2 hours without blinking. He had no reason to do this. He just wanted to extend his record so nobody else could break it. You could see after this challenge that the veins in his eyes are just converging on his pupils. Like, it looks really painful. And just like that, Normie has completed 2 of some of the most difficult physical challenges that have ever been done on the internet. And just 1 month later, he decides to attempt perhaps his most ambitious stunt yet. And that is the spending 1 month in solitary confinement stunt. And for those of you who don't know what solitary confinement is, Wikipedia says it's a punishment that prisoners get where they spend 22 to 24 hours a day in a cell. They have little to no contact with other people, and the cell is usually smaller than a parking space. The only time they're allowed to leave the cell is to shower and for a short period of recreation. And Normie's challenge was to put himself in solitary confinement in his own home, but in complete and total darkness. The only times he's allowed to do anything is eat, use the bathroom, and listen to the text-to-speech donations from the viewers. And very similar to the first experiment where he sleep-deprived himself, Normie descends slowly into madness as time goes on. He starts hallucinating, he starts breaking his possessions. A lot of the time he ends up just spending sleeping. And the most viral clip from the entire stunt is him losing it and eating his wall. And you really couldn't have picked a worse time to do this because he's essentially competing with the US election while he's doing this, probably not getting the viewership he wants because of this. And his fans seem to be split. Some people concerned for his health, others couldn't care at all. For example, 600 hours in, his chat is just trying to take advantage of Normie's deliriousness by trying to convince him that Mr. Beast has died. And after losing his mind yet again, Normie gets swatted on the last day. Swatted just 20 hours before completing his goal of 1 month in solitary confinement. And I gotta say, it is interesting. Obviously, most of the fans are like, hey, stop doing this. This is bad for your health. But it's very interesting that some of the fans are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. They're saying you didn't do enough because of the fact that you lit a match 500 hours in, or because of the fact that you're using text-to-speech, going to the bathroom, eating food. You're not really depriving your senses. And that's proof right there. No matter what you do, people are always, you're gonna have haters, because my God, this guy has tortured himself on multiple occasions, and some people are saying he's not doing enough. Blows my mind. He then did a follow-up video after being swatted where we get to witness him seeing sunlight for the first time in a month. And this video is pretty concerning. He's talking like he's genuinely 4 years old.
Yeah.
It's really bright.
I'm walking across the road. I'm in the breeze, yes.
Here's this.
Give me a hug.
So I don't know if this is the aftermath of the sleep deprivation video. I don't know if this is the combination of the sleep deprivation video and the solitary confinement video, but I'm concerned here slightly. Normie looks directly into the sun after a month in solitary confinement with the encouragement of his brother, who might be the real bad person here, to be honest, because it's one thing to get lost in the sauce making videos like this, but watching your loved one do stuff like this to himself and doing nothing about it, not only doing nothing about it, encouraging him to look directly into the sun, the worst thing he could possibly do.
Look at the sun.
Where the fuck is it?
It's over here.
I legit don't see anything. I was gonna fake some shit in the video.
The whole situation, the ending to this, extremely chaotic, but everything seemed okay. That is until he posted this, and people are getting worried. Now, I don't know exactly what's gone wrong in the hospital, because this is relatively new news, but I'm going to wake up tomorrow, see if there's any updates. If there is, I'll throw in the video. So I waited a few days, actually, and there's no health update, unfortunately, but there is an update from the side of YouTube, and Normie is, his channel's probably in danger right now, which I would assume is going to motivate him to change the style of content, which I think YouTube's kind of forcing his hand. So I don't think we're going to be seeing much more crazy stunt content like this. But what the fuck do I know? I've been wrong before, for sure. Well, here I am, 24 hours later, eating my words, because Normie's back at it again, and this time, he's doing the unthinkable. The worst thing you could ever do to your audience, and that is he's dropping a shitcoin. Literally a shitcoin. I believe it's called shitcoin, and his stunt he's doing this time, breaking the world record for the longest time sitting on a toilet. He's not leaving the toilet until it hits a 50 mil market cap, and I think we can all guess what he's going to do. Probably going to sell all of his coins and just try and get rich off of this, because if you can't get rich off of YouTube because you're breaking TOS, you might as well pump and dump on whatever loyal fans you have left. I was honestly rooting for this guy before he did this, because I'm all for redemption. But when you're doing stuff like this, just scamming your fans, I don't know. It's hard to feel bad for the guy.
No! Do not sell! Shit, the stream just, that one ended, but check the Twitter. I didn't leave the scene. Twitter's still going. This one just, hold! Hold! Do not sell! Do not sell! No! Shitcoin! Do not sell! Hold! Shitcoin! Hold it! Hold it! Hold!
What the fuck am I watching right
Flushing out
now?
the competition. Shit game for life. Shit game for life. Shit game for life.
All right, so there he is yelling at his followers not to sell.
It's probably the main reason why I don't really mind losing like 200 grand is because like I don't really know what crypto is. It's why I'm burning it all too. Like I'm burning all my coins. Did you see that?
No.
I'm burning my shit coins.
Does that mean destroying them?
Yeah, but everyone else's value goes up. But so, like I have 50,000 in shit coins right now and I'm burning it. Be some crypto junkie. You know, the only way to make money on crypto is to scam people. Or invest in shitcoin. Invest in shitcoin.
That's the only other way.
I'm losing hundreds of thousands of dollars because I don't know Well, I don't know. I guess
How do you feel about that?
don't really care. It's kind of funny. I'm burning my shitcoin so everyone else's goes up. That's all I feel about it. You know, apparently multiple people had conversations about asking me to do a stream like this, and I got one DM.
What, they were pitching it to me.
I know, and then somebody has DM'd me going, did Don run off? Somebody just DM'd me saying, did Don and you run off my day? I was like, you didn't DM me, dude. I got one DM about this, and I was immediately like, alright, sounds funny, I'll do it. And you know I'm not scamming because I'm burning mine. I'm burning all mine, chat. I'm burning all my coins. I literally just did it for the fun.
I was talking to people who say you can't even like do it again.
Why not?
Once you hit your first cap, people won't want to invest. Oh, it's a whole confusing number.
So maybe I'm wrong. He says he's burning all of his coins. I'm a little suspicious of that, but he's doing this because a guy DM'd him and told him to do this. So presumably the shady figure who DM'd Normie is going to be making money off of this. Normie's claiming he's not making a single dollar. He's burning all of his, but we've heard that story many times before with other creators. But I'll take his word for it. So I guess this shady figure is profiting. Otherwise, why would this random guy be doing this? You don't just DM a bunch of big YouTubers asking them to promote a coin for you if you don't have intentions of profiting off of said coin. So absolute best case scenario on this is that Normie is telling the truth, that he's burning all of his coins. He's not making a single dollar. There's no back end deals with this shady figure who DM'd him saying to make a coin, and Normie agreed right away, no back end deals. And at the very best case scenario, the shady figure's making a bag off of this. Normie's not making anything. And his fans, I guess if you get lucky, you might make a few bucks, but most people are going to get absolutely fucking wrecked. He's trying to make it like this is some off the cuff, like, impulsive thing that he's doing, but the reason he's doing this, or at least the reason the guy DM'd him, is because if you look at the past month, this is just always how it goes. Bitcoin was at 68K a month ago, and now it's at 99K. So people just try and take advantage of the positive news cycle and the money flowing into crypto, and they try and make coins and get rich off of it at the expense of other people. That's just what's happening here. Whether or not Normie is making money off of this, I'm not going to do an investigation on the guy. I'm just going to have to take his word for it. He's not doing it. But let's be real. People are scumbags. But yeah, that's really it. I just thought this was absolutely insane. And if anybody watching this is even slightly considering copying this style of content, just don't do it. You're going to get brain dead. Your organs are going to fail. Every bad thing you could possibly imagine, it will happen. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's going to happen in like 10 years. So just relax. Just make some skibbity toilet content.